तो भाई जब फिल्म रिलीज हुई और बॉक्स ऑफिस पे नहीं चली, तीनों ने लोग, प्रियांशु, आप, संदाली सिन्हा, हर्ट हुए थे बहुत। क्या उस वो एस्पेक्ट ने भी आपको डिस्टर्ब किया कि उन पे ज़्यादा एम्फेसिस था, फोकस ज़्यादा हो गया संदाली और प्रियांशु पर?
देखो
ख्वाहिश, I know you were not happy with that film. I know you were not happy with Mallika, and I don't want you to be diplomatic. भाई से बात कर रहे हो आप. What went wrong during that film?
I felt bit cheated by the makers. There were a lot of filmmakers who would not work with me after that. And then you start getting offers for those kind of films.
B grade, C grade.
हाँ, that they would come and tell you first कि सर इसमें 4 बेड सीन है. Hall used to be full of media. Full. Just wanted to know anything about it. How did you kiss?
ये पूछते थे कि कैसे kiss?
हाँ, what was it like? Did you use tongue?
Supposedly आपकी naked photos were splashed all across several mainstream and porn websites. And आपने कहा they're all mine, I don't deny them at all.
Nudity is not a problem. Nudity was very normal that time.
तो ये मॉडलिंग में भी आपको एज अ सेक्स ऑब्जेक्ट ट्रीट किया जाता था, फिल्मों में भी, या हर जगह ऐसा होता था?
See, ये बिजनेस का नेचर है. There were ideas all the time that do this, you'll get famous, do that, you'll get famous.
Do what? बोलना.
Well, have an affair with an actress or do an expose with somebody.
कभी कोई A-list एक्ट्रेस ने आप पे मूव किया है?
I didn't want to work with the Karan Johars and the Yashrajs of the world.
क्यों?
Because I thought they made hokey films.
एक फिट बंदा जो इतना फिट था एट वन टाइम, ये लुक चेंज कैसे हो गया फिर?
यार
आपने हाल ही में उलझ किया था जानवी कपूर के साथ. Was that a role जिसने आपको satisfy किया अंदर से?
I think they cut a bit of my role. Hi, my name is Himanshu Malik. I have done films like Tum Bin, Khwahish, रक्त, रोग और बहुत कुछ. और आज मैं अपनी लाइफ के बारे में डिस्कस कर रहा हूँ विद सिद्धार्थ कन्नन. प्लीज़ लाइक, सब्सक्राइब एंड वॉच अस. थैंक यू.
आपने उनको देखा है तुम बिन में, ख्वाहिश, आफरीन आफरीन वीडियो विद लीजा रे. हिमांशु मलिक, मेरे भाई कैसे हैं आप?
वेरी गुड, थैंक यू सो मच. थैंक यू फॉर हैविंग मी ऑन दिस शो.
यस भाई, हम लोग एक दूसरे को बहुत सालों से जानते हैं. वी विल टॉक अबाउट एंटायर जर्नी, पर पहले चलते हैं 1996. आफरीन आफरीन, लीजा रे. हर म्यूजिक चैनल पर हर 5 मिनट में वो वीडियो बनता था. कल्ट सॉन्ग, कल्ट वीडियो. मेमोरीज क्या है?
अब आफरीन आफरीन की जो कहानी है बहुत इंटरेस्टिंग कहानी है. मैं दिल्ली से बॉम्बे आया था और मैं तब एज अ रैम्प मॉडल बहुत औदा था और बलबला था मेरा. तो तब केन घोष ने वहाँ से फ़ोन आया कि म्यूज़िक वीडियो करना है. मगर हम तब दिल्ली यूनिवर्सिटी से ज़रा हार्ड रॉक, लेड जेपलिन टाइप बैकग्राउंड से आए थे. सो यहाँ आए तो मिले केन घोष से. एटीट्यूड तो शुरू से थोड़ा था. सो मैं बोला कि गाना किसका है? तो कहते एक पाकिस्तानी गज़ल सिंगर का है. मैंने गज़ल तो कौन, मतलब सूफी सिंगर. आई डोंट अंडरस्टैंड दैट इज़ नॉट माई वर्ल्ड. मैंने कुछ ऐसा उनको बोला. बट ही न्यू आई एम अ नाइस गाय एंड आई सूटेड द वीडियो. तो ही सेड कि हाँ ठीक है, मगर तुम आ जाओ प्लीज़, तुम करो. सो ही टोल्ड मी कि जैसलमेर देखा तुमने कभी? मैंने कहा नहीं, तो तुम्हें जैसलमेर घुमा के लाता हूँ. तो आई सेड इट्स अ गुड आइडिया. एंड आई डिडंट नो एनीथिंग अबाउट नुसरत जी. I didn't know anything about the track, and I told him, वो track सुना देना मुझको आप. But I had long hair and I had that vibe about me that Guns N' Roses vibe कि ये पता नहीं इसको शायद समझ ना आए. So मैं जब भी फ़ोन करता तो बोलते ट्रैक आ रहा है, भेजता हूँ, आज कल भेजता हूँ, परसों फ्लाइट है, आ जाना. फ्लाइट पे आके उन्होंने मुझे कैसेट दी वॉकमैन के साथ। तो मैंने एक फ्लाइट में सुना और ये आलाप शलाप आओ ये सब, it's not a music I ever heard before. You know, I mean, I came from a time at that time where listening to only English music kind of thing. So I told him after the flight कि क्या है सर गाना, ये तो बहुत अजीब सा गाना है, ये कहाँ फंसा दिया आपने मुझको। तो he realized कि मैं तो शायद एयरपोर्ट से वापस चला जाऊँगा। So he called Lisa Ray and he said कि लीजा इसको समझाओ ना जरा। तो एक बार लीजा ने मुझे बोला What's the problem? Come, let's go, let's shoot. बस that was enough.
लीजा राय के चक्कर में अब चले गए वीडियो के लिए।
Yeah, it was quite crazy. Yeah.
तो यानी कि आफरीन आफरीन गाना नहीं, नुसरत साहब नहीं, केन घोष तो उस टाइम पे नंबर 1 म्यूजिक डायरेक्टर थे।
Yes.
In terms of videos, he was
Yes,
a music
yes,
director,
yes,
video person.
Yes.
बट लीजा रे ने कहा तो अब चले गए।
मतलब हाँ, एंड जैसलमेर एंड द आइडिया कि चलो ठीक है कर लेता हूँ, यहाँ तक आ गया हूँ। बट देन कट टू बट 6 months later, Nusrat Saab was performing in Bombay. His last performance in India before the unfortunate war happened. And I was invited and I was in the front row and I heard him live and I will never forget that experience. And it was just the most surreal, sublime experience of my life to see him live. He was probably 10 feet away. मतलब उस when he sings live तो एक एक ट्रैक को 15 मिनट 18 मिनट 24 मिनट चलाते हैं। मतलब वो ऐसे चलाते हैं उस ट्रैक को कि आप यू आर एट हिज मर्सी, यू लिटरली सेइंग कि सर बस कांट टेक इट एनीमोर। इट्स सो अमेजिंग।
तो वो गाना हिट हो गया, रातों रात हिट हो गया था।
या रातों रात।
उससे पहले आप एक सुपर मॉडल थे, दिल्ली से मुंबई आए थे, राइट? तो कीड़ा क्या था, मॉडलिंग का कीड़ा था या एक्टर बनने का कीड़ा था?
एक्चुअली कीड़ा सिर्फ फ्री होने का था। कीड़ा था कि मैं मतलब जो नॉर्मल यू नो रिगमरोल लाइफ होती है एक मिडिल क्लास बच्चे की हमारी कंट्री में उस समय की, इंजीनियरिंग करो, कॉलेज करो, नौकरी करो, सुबह से शाम मतलब ऑफिस जाओ। तो मेरा एम था कि ये इस साइकिल से टूटने का। So I wanted to be on my own, and I worked in Tata in telco for 6 months, and I was even more sure कि I want to break out of this. I want to explore the world. I want to explore myself. I want to explore what I can do, what I want to be really. Instead of ये कि भी नहीं अभी नौकरी कर लो, फिर गर्लफ्रेंड रख लो, फिर शादी कर लो, फिर बच्चे कर लो। No. तो उसी मकसद से when I came to, I was working in Pune, people said, somebody said, you should model and you know all that and it's decent money. So I saw that as a passport to get out of my regular middle class life.
माता पिता क्या करते थे?
My father was in the Air Force, but unfortunately we lost him in an air crash in 1988. My mother, school teacher in Delhi, Vasant Vihar Techno International School. एंड तो उनके लिए तो ये था कि भाई इंजीनियरिंग कर लो, नौकरी कर लो और अपनी लाइफ चलाओ। बट बस यही कीड़ा था कि कुछ अलग करना है, कुछ नया एक्सप्लोर करना है। तो उस मकसद से फिर मैं बॉम्बे आया, मॉडलिंग शुरू करी ताकि अपने आप को सपोर्ट कर पाऊँ। साथ साथ यू नो थिएटर, एक्टिंग जो मिला, मतलब यहाँ तक कि दनाए मैंने मीरा नायर जी को असिस्ट भी किया इन अ फिल्म एज एन असिस्टेंट डायरेक्टर। जो जहाँ मुझे यू नो नॉलेज, इंफॉर्मेशन, लाइफ मिली, मैं बस घूमता गया।
तो ये जो फिल्म आपने असिस्ट की मीरा नायर जी को, वो था कामसूत्रा।
जी हाँ।
जिसमें इंदिरा वर्मा थी, नवीन एंड्रूज थे।
yes.
उस फिल्म से क्या सीखा आपने? वो एक्चुअली एक कल्ट फिल्म बन गई थी। बहुत बड़ी फिल्म थी, बहुत चर्चे में थी वो फिल्म।
सो उस फिल्म से मैंने एक्चुअली बहुत बड़ा एक लर्निंग था, बिकॉज फिल्म मेकिंग का एक जो बेसिक्स मेरा फाउंडेशन समझने का वो उस फिल्म से हुआ। बिकॉज इट वाज अ कम्प्लीटली हॉलीवुड सेटअप एंड मतलब उस फिल्म पे ऐसे ऐसे लोग थे जो ऑस्कर नॉमिनी हो चुके थे, जो आगे चल के ऑस्कर विनर्स बने, और उनका जो वर्क एथिक था, जो मतलब व्हाटएवर दे वर डूइंग, जस्ट द वे द होल फिल्म वाज मेड you know, as an assistant, you got to be witness to that. And actually, वो भी कुछ ऐसे हुआ था कि I had gone to meet Meera Nair ji for a casting. I had been sent from Bombay to Delhi to meet her to be a part of the cast. And the moment I walked into the room, she said, "Oh my God, you're too young. I'm so sorry." I was 21. I was 22. I said, "Oh my God, you're too young. I'm so sorry. We shouldn't have called you all the way from Bombay." You know, and I need somebody much older. तो मतलब generally एक actor को ये rejection मतलब it would have been a problem, but I at that very moment said, "Sir, ma'am, it's okay. I want to be a part of your film as an assistant. That's why I came." So she said, "Arey, but you know, that is another department. You have to talk to somebody else." I said, "Whatever it is, I am not leaving this office until you hire me as an assistant." So I sat there all day. I think in the night that lady came, she met me for 10 minutes. By that time, I had befriended everybody. And
सब दोस्त हो गए. बस.
and they kept saying that, "But you're an actor, you're a model, why do you want to assist it?" I said, "No, but this is what I want to do in life. I want to explore life. This is a great opportunity to be a part of such a great production and to see how films are made and how you guys operate." And I think it was fantastic. Like I said, there were people on the film who went on to win Oscars. So, I think 10 years later, I was watching Oscars and the camera panned and said, "Arey, I know this person." It's quite amazing, yeah.
तो इंदिरा वर्मा जो उस वक्त एक सेक्स सिंबल थी, ड्रॉप डेड गॉर्जियस, उनके साथ आपका इंटरेक्शन हुआ था?
हाँ, एक्चुअली काफ़ी हुआ था बिकॉज they wanted somebody to, at that time I was pretty fit, you know. So they said they need someone to train her, to run with her every morning. It was my job to get up at 4:30 in the morning, reach her room by 5:30, take her for a run, train her, and it was not difficult. Yeah, she's a hot chick, man.
तो लिटरली आपका काम था उनके साथ ट्रेन करना और उनको ट्रेन करवाना.
या
क्रश वश हुआ था उन पर?
ना, nothing to that.
सच में?
अरे यू वर ऑन अ जॉब यार, वर्किंग है क्या अभी क्रश कैसे करते? मतलब तब तो ये उम्र थी कि लोग क्रश करते थे हम पर, तो मतलब हम भागते थे लोगों से.
तो इंदिरा आप पे क्रश कर रही थी?
प्लीज नो, नथिंग लाइक दैट.
नहीं ना? तो बट सीरियसली आप तो माने वन ऑफ द मोस्ट गुड लुकिंग मेन इन द कंट्री थे उस वक्त स्पेशली. तो आफरीन आफरीन हुआ, पॉपुलर हो गए थे. वो गाने ने आपकी लाइफ को कैसे ट्रांसफॉर्म किया?
एक्चुअली उस गाने से आई गॉट नोटिस्ड इन द बॉम्बे फिल्म इंडस्ट्री. आई स्टार्टेड गेटिंग inquiries if I want to do films, if I'm ready for acting. Like I said, this Meera Nair's meeting happened. You know, they met me to see if, you know, but I was not ready as an actor. I was too young. I was still, you know, developing myself, you know, still understanding the art. But yeah, Siddharth, fame, it comes and it has its own very surprising effects. And I must have been 22 or 22 and a half or 23 when Afreen Afreen came, and the same year there were 2 other videos I did for Sonu Nigam, Deewane Ho Ke Hum and Kuch Tum Socho. And that time it was an era of music videos. And that 1 year just changed everything for me. Because, you know, and at that time, models, actors, film stars, they were all at the same level. So suddenly, you know, success comes and you don't know what it. But the thing about success, na Siddharth, it's for other people. For you, you're still living your life. You're still running your own battles. So, matlab, theek hai, it's fun. There's money, there's nice travel. You know, people are nice to you. You get nice service in the flights. But you know, it's got its own dynamics.
Did you get carried away with the success of that video? क्योंकि वापस देखा जाए तो आप छोटे ही थे, 21-22 के थे, दिल्ली से आए थे, स्टड थे, you know, great physique, supermodel, और ईरा था supermodels का. I know the kind of craze you, अर्जुन रामपाल, all of you saw. मैंने खुद देखा हुआ है. आप लोग आते थे रूम्स में, हम लोग तो ऐसे हो जाते थे, यार ये स्टार्ट आ गया, हम लोग को कौन देखेगा. इस वक्त आप सोच के ये कह रहे हैं कि दोस्त, फेम का एक अदर साइड होता है, बट उस वक्त तो एड्यूलेशन एंजॉय किया होगा.
Absolutely. But you know, fame is a very it's actually a frightening success also, because it changes too many things around you. And when you are young, you cannot handle it. And that is why I realize why a lot of young stars, you know, it's very difficult for them to come to terms with it. So, the adulation is amazing, yeah. It is,
आप कैसे नहीं हैंडल कर पा रहे थे?
I think, एवरीथिंग बिकम सो कन्वीनियंट ना, सब कुछ आपके लिए इतना आसान हो जाता है ना, आपके लिए दोस्त आसानी से मिल जाते हैं, फाइनेंशियल्स आर वेरी सॉर्टेड फॉर यू, लोग आपको बहुत प्यार देते हैं, तो कहीं ना कहीं आप इसमें लेज़ी हो जाते हो. यू बिकम योर सेल्फ ग्रोथ, योर इंटरनल ग्रोथ बिकम्स स्लो. You work less hard because it's there. This is what people work for, to be successful and to be famous and to be financially stable. You get it when you're 23, 24. Now, what do you aspire for? That is when, if you have a good guidance, you have a good long-term plan, what do I want to be, what do I want to do, where do I want to go in my life, then you are fine. But if not, then you're in trouble. Like I said in the beginning of our podcast, that I came into this business क्योंकि मैं जानना चाहता कि मैं कौन हूँ, मैं क्या कर सकता हूँ, मैं क्या करना चाहता हूँ. यही मेरा मकसद था ना. मगर वो मकसद बहुत जल्दी आप भूल जाते हो. एंड दैट इज वेयर द प्रॉब्लम बिकम्स.
तो आफरीन आफरीन 1996, उसके बाद तुम बिन, one of the biggest success stories of that time. संदाली सिन्हा,
यस,
प्रियांशु, आप. बट वो 5 साल में आपने म्यूजिक वीडियोस किया 96 to 2001, या क्या चल रहा था आपकी जिंदगी में उस वक्त?
I was doing a lot of shows as a model, campaigns, music videos, and then 2001 we shot Tum Bin.
वो कैसे मिला आपको फिल्म?
Tum Bin, we knew Anubhav Sinhaji was making a film, and he had done music videos with us, with all of us. He done music videos with Priyanshu, with me. Then we were called for auditions. I think there were 2-3 rounds of auditions, and we knew then itself that it's going to be a strong film. Just the way they were going about it, the passion they had, the story, how the music was being worked on. सब कुछ देख के we were very clear that this is going to be something very special. And we all put a lot into it. बहुत दिल लगाया हमने उस पे. And I think that's what matters. When you put your whole heart into a project, it always delivers. मगर तुम बिन भी जब रिलीज हुई थी, तब वो बॉक्स ऑफिस सक्सेस नहीं थी, unfortunately. Yes. It became a sleeper hit, which is the truth of it. Because at that time, DVDs were just coming in. Within 6 months of release, it became a massive hit.
थिएटर में?
No, theatre में it did not do well.
थिएटर में पिट गई थी,
पिट गई थी.
पर डीवीडी हिट बन गई थी.
DVD hit बन गई.
जैसे आज कहते हैं लोग, ये नेटफ्लिक्स पे हिट हो गई है, अमेजॉन पे, वो डीवीडी पे हिट हुई.
Yes.
वेरी इंटरेस्टिंग. हाँ.
And so हमको बिजनेस, विद इन द बिजनेस से इमीडिएट हमको फ़ायदा नहीं हुआ. You know, जैसे हमसे 1 साल पहले डेब्यू हुआ था ऋतिक रोशन का, कहो ना प्यार है, दैट वाज हिज डेब्यू. हाँ, सो दैट बिकम अ ह्यूज बॉक्स ऑफिस हिट. सो ऑब्वियसली इट वाज अ वेरी डिफरेंट थिंग, बट तुम बिन वाज नॉट अ बिग बॉक्स ऑफिस हिट. एंड एट दैट टाइम देयर वाज नो अंडरस्टैंडिंग ऑफ DVD or CDs or VHS, or it was not a very monetizing aspect. It didn't matter. It was very small. Or Netflix or television. That came later. Then through the years, the film has really grown in its legacy. And it is surprising. It is very surprising that it is still so, it's so fresh in people's mind. Still, there's such a fan following on it. Still, so many people reach out all the time about it. It shocks me all the time.
तो भाई जब फिल्म रिलीज हुई और बॉक्स ऑफिस पे नहीं चली, तीनों ने लोग, प्रियांशु, आप, संदाली सिन्हा, हर्ट हुए थे बहुत जब फिल्म चली नहीं?
नहीं यार, देखो, आई थिंक वी वर स्लाइटली डिसअपॉइंटेड, बट ठीक है, सबने मतलब काम की बड़ाई हुई थी सबकी, फिल्म लोगों को पसंद आई थी, तो हाँ, वी हैड अ बैटल इन आवर हैंड्स टू गेट मोर बॉलीवुड प्रोड्यूसर्स इंटरेस्टेड इन अस. दैट वाज स्लाइटली डिफिकल्ट, बट आई थिंक अगर आप ये सोचो, उसके 5 साल पहले हम दिल्ली से आए थे विद नथिंग, लिविंग इन अ स्मॉल पीजी, just about trying to do something with our careers. Considering that, to be on the big screen, to have this grand release, to have so much adulation, so many people know about you, I think we were successful. It was see where we came from also, na?
बहुत सही कहा आपने, क्योंकि वहां से यहाँ तक ये बड़े पर्दे पर आना ही बड़ी बात होती है,
Yes.
है ना?
हाँ.
विदाउट गॉडफादर्स, विदाउट सपोर्ट कि कोई पिक्चर बना देगा आपके लिए, वो सब कुछ था नहीं.
Yes.
कुछ बिहाइंड द सीन बताओ ना, प्रियांशु, आप, संदाली, आप लोग अच्छे दोस्त थे शूटिंग के
बहुत
दौरान कि
अच्छे,
नहीं?
बहुत अच्छे,
सच्चे दिल से?
बहुत अच्छे. Behind the scenes, बहुत डिफिकल्ट शूट था. We were supposed to shoot in October in Canada, in Calgary, near Banff, near Vancouver, but that got pushed to November. तो अब वहाँ पर आई थिंक बाय एंड नवंबर स्नो आ गई थी, -10, -12 डिग्रीज. हम लोग तो यहाँ बॉम्बे दिल्ली के लोग, तो इट यूज्ड टू बी लॉन्ग डेज, लॉन्ग नाइट्स, एंड just a lot of hard work. Yeah, that's all I can think of. अगर मैं अभी सोचूं, it was just a lot of hard work we were doing, और कुछ नहीं. मतलब there was a time, I remember there was one song that was in the film called Sururururu. अब वो लोकेशन सिर्फ 1.5 दिन के लिए था उनके पास, और it was a full dance number. So I think for 18 hours straight I danced. And I'm not a good dancer, I'm not a natural dancer. So वो भी एक चैलेंज था. मतलब वो दिन ख़त्म हुआ तो मुझे मतलब ताली वाली पड़ी, लोगों ने बोला अरे यार यू मैनेज्ड, यू पुल्ड इट ऑफ. सो आई थॉट दैट वाज बिग सक्सेस, बट I think it was fantastic. It was such a fantastic experience. We had a great DOP, and T-Series, Anubhav Sinha, they did everything correctly. Each location, no matter how far, how difficult, how complicated it was, we used to go. So I think all that hard work shows.
भाई संदाली वो भी आउटसाइडर, प्रियांशु भी आउटसाइडर, आप भी आउटसाइडर. क्या ये कॉमन पॉइंट था बॉन्डिंग, क्योंकि आप लोग सब मिडिल क्लास फैमिली से आए थे? क्या वो एस्पेक्ट ने आपको क्लोज बनाया?
Yes. In fact, प्रियांशु और मैं तो बहुत पहले से दोस्त थे. We were modeling together in Delhi for a long time. Absolutely, यार, we were supporting each other. There was no, we understood each other. सबसे बड़ी बात क्या होती है? The difference between actors and youngsters who come from outside Bombay and actors who are from Bombay, the difference is just, it's a different kind of drive they have. I'm not saying actors from Bombay are not driven, but it takes something else to leave home and come. And mostly a lot of people who leave home and come to Bombay to be actors, they are running from something. So we're all in a very different space. To leave your home and come to an unstable profession, it's not for normal people. So we all had our emotional dysfunctions, and I think that kind of understanding, he understands that I'm also from outside Bombay and we all come here to achieve something. That kind of keeps us together.
कैसे इमोशनल डिसफंक्शंस आपने फेस किए थे? लेट्स स्टार्ट टू दैट पॉइंट वेयर हिमांशु कम्स टू बॉम्बे, मॉडलिंग करते हैं, Modeling those days were crazy scenes used to happen in those days. Paparazzi culture नहीं था, लोग cameras लेके घूमते नहीं थे. The parties were wild. You know, people were all being bindas in their approach. किसी को डर नहीं था कि ये फोटो खींच लेगा, कहीं डाल देगा सोशल मीडिया पे. Tell me about that.
Dick, I don't know to pinpoint my own dysfunctions how I can do that, but it was a roller coaster ride, yeah, Siddharth. It was non-stop, and luckily बोल सकते हैं कि बिकॉज मिडिल क्लास बैकग्राउंड से थे, हमको मालूम था कि ये हमारी लिमिट्स हैं. ये एक मिडिल क्लास जो मोरालिटी होती है ना, मिडिल क्लास जो एक वैल्यूज़ होती हैं, वो एक बहुत कड़क बचपन से डाली जाती हैं आप में. सो यू नो कि यू कैनॉट डू सर्टेन थिंग्स, you will not go beyond a point. At most, you'll get drunk, but you'll never be, you'll never misbehave in public, and you'll always be well behaved. Especially, I also came from my father was in the Air Force, so there was that middle class values and moralities that was also our own, what do you call, our limits. That kept us sane also. At the same time, they were also our limitation. So I think
आपने हदें नहीं पार की, ये कह रहे हैं.
हाँ, मैंने कभी हद नहीं पार की, मगर मैं हूँ एक्चुअली. I'm always in control. I've always been in control of my life. I think. I don't know yet. We'll know. I'm sure it's a very vast definition. But हाँ.
क्या आपको लगा, जेन्युइनली बोलिए, कि आफरीन आफरीन जो हिट गाना था, आप थे उस वीडियो में, क्या ये लगा कि लीजा रे ने लाइमलाइट छीन लिया, कि फोकस उन पे ज़्यादा हो गया? डिड दैट अफेक्ट यू ऑल्सो?
नहीं, ऐसा कुछ नहीं. आई एम नेवर कॉम्पिटिटिव अबाउट माई वर्क. आई डोंट, मतलब लीजा रे थी बहुत बढ़िया यार. मतलब वो बहुत ही, वो तो कुदरत का करिश्मा है. मतलब वो वैसे ही है. सो ऐसा कुछ नहीं है. आई एम वेरी लकी टू बी वर्किंग विद देम, एंड आई नेवर फेल्ट एनी जेलसी फॉर माई को एक्टर और को स्टार. इट्स नॉट इम्पॉर्टेंट टू मी.
सच्चे दिल से?
सच्चे दिल से.
जैसे देखा जाए तो लोग कहते हैं कि संदाली और प्रियांशु पे ज़्यादा एम्फोसिस था ड्यूरिंग तुम बिन, जब वो रिलीज हो गई थी. वेरी ऑनेस्टली, क्या वो एस्पेक्ट ने भी आपको डिस्टर्ब किया कि उन पे ज़्यादा एम्फोसिस था, फोकस ज़्यादा हो गया संदाली और प्रियांशु पर?
देखो, ये ना एक्चुअली लकीली सिद्धार्थ, क्योंकि मैं इंडस्ट्री में बहुत जल्दी आया ना, तो मैं ये कुछ एस्पेक्ट्स बहुत जल्दी समझ गया था. वो ये था दैट इट इज़ नॉट अ शॉर्ट टर्म गेम, इट इज़ अ लॉन्ग टर्म गेम. एक फिल्म करना, 2 फिल्म करना, 3 फिल्म करना कोई बड़ी बात नहीं है, बट स्टिल इंडस्ट्री में 10-15 साल रहना, कॉन्स्टेंटली काम करना, कॉन्स्टेंटली एक फैन बेस रखना, कॉन्स्टेंटली लोग आपके पास आए काम करने के लिए, लोग अच्छी बात करें, लोग आपको कॉन्स्टेंटली फ़ोन करें, दैट इज़ द बैटल. तो ये मैं समझ गया था दैट इट इज़ नॉट अ शॉर्ट टर्म गेम. So if somebody is getting more attention, it's fine with me. It's good. All the best. I will also get my day in the sun, which is fine. I am me, you are you. Although I have never had that gene in me only, कि मुझे ज़्यादा मिल जाए. मुझे जो मिल रहा है बहुत मिल रहा है. I think like that, I think. And I realize this, कि if you are working on your basics, if you are enjoying your journey, बाकी सब तो माया है, आएगा जाएगा. माल आया नहीं आया, काम मिला नहीं मिला, बहुत सारे रोल्स हाथ से निकल गए, बहुत सारे रोल्स आते थे निकल गए, बहुत सारे फिल्म शूट हो गए, बंद हो गई. That's okay, man. Ultimately we are all here, happy, laughing. You call me on your show.
संदाली, आप अच्छे दोस्त बन गए थे उस दौरान?
Yes. Sundari also has got an Air Force background.
हाँ.
So she went to Air Force Bal Bharati School. I went to Air Force Golden Jubilee.
तो आप लोग दोस्त थे दिल्ली से ही कि बम्बई में?
नहीं, I met Sundari here. I didn't meet her before.
What was very special about that girl?
यार संदली बहुत कम लोग ऐसे होते हैं जो जिनमें बिल्कुल भी कोई छल कपट नहीं होता, बहुत ही स्ट्रेट हार्टेड होते हैं, बहुत ही क्लीन स्पोकन होते हैं, and they can tell you the most harshest thing, the most softest and the most genuine way, because they really care for you, and they'll tell you कि यार नहीं वो ठीक नहीं लगा मुझको. And I think that's a fantastic quality. I can never forget that about her. You know, if I now I meet her, she'll meet me with all her heart and all her, warmth, because she's like that. And I think that's quite fantastic. There is no, awkwardness about the person she is.
क्या आपको लगा कि क्योंकि वो इतनी सीधी सादी थी, छल कपट नहीं था, devious नहीं थी, calculative नहीं थी, maybe that worked against her in the Indian film industry, क्योंकि उस फिल्म के बाद वो गायब हो गई. Do you think that must have worked against her, very honestly?
I think it worked against all of us. I think most of us, all things equal, the kind of film Tum Bin was, the kind of performance it was, the kind of scale, way we looked, we all should have been, much more, should have done much more bigger films.
क्यों नहीं हुआ?
I think no guidance, lack of experience, and also यार सिद्धार्थ वो टाइम अलग था. मतलब आज की डेट में इतनी सारी फिल्में बनती हैं, इतने प्लेटफॉर्म्स हैं, इतना कुछ है, इतना काम है. उस समय इतनी फिल्में नहीं बनती थी यार. उस समय साल में एक फिल्म बनाता था. यशराज used to make one film in 3 years, 4 years. साल में एक कास्टिंग हो रही थी. It was very, very difficult. It was a very different time. और उसके ऊपर से देखो clearly there is a divide between people who come from industry, people who are not from the industry. It's a clear divide. जो लोग इंडस्ट्री से आते हैं उनका नेटवर्क है, उनका अंडरस्टैंडिंग है इंडस्ट्री का, हाउ इट ऑपरेट्स, वो अलग होता है. और आप जो आउटसाइडर होते हैं, अब जाके आउटसाइडर्स का जो पल रहा है वो भारी हुआ है, विद मनोज बाजपेयी, इरफान खान, सो मेनी आउटसाइडर एक्टर्स, राजकुमार राव, ये सब, दे हैव बिकम नाउ इन द लास्ट 5-7 years. But before that, the world couldn't see beyond Hrithik Roshan, Abhishek Bachchan, because they had that legacy. I'm not taking it against them. So I think I feel great pride that we were one of the initial outsiders who came in. Though Shah Rukh Khan was one of the biggest outsiders, who was a huge, huge success. But he's like Sachin Tendulkar. He's unreal, the kind of talent the man has. I think our understanding of the business, our understanding of what we should do, how do we cultivate this stardom, how do we grow our own business, all that was the problem.
प्रियांशु और आप दिल्ली से अच्छे दोस्त थे, राइट? मॉडलिंग, फ्रेटर्निटी, ही ऑल्सो बिग मॉडल. आप भी, आप टच में उनके साथ अभी?
फिलहाल तो नहीं, 1-2 साल से, बट बहुत टाइम तक टच में था मैं. अच्छा दोस्त है मेरा, बहुत बेहतरीन आदमी है, बहुत मेहनती आदमी है, और उसने मुझे बहुत सपोर्ट किया लाइफ में थ्रू आउट. बहुत अच्छी दोस्ती रही हमारी.
कैसे सपोर्ट किया आपको?
मतलब जस्ट जनरली बीइंग अ गुड फ्रेंड.
वो भी बड़ी बात है आज के टाइम पे भाई.
बहुत बड़ी बात है वो,
है ना?
हाँ, वी गुड फ्रेंड, एंड मतलब तुम बिन के टाइम में वी वर शेयरिंग अ रूम, सो आई थिंक वी बॉन्डेड अ लॉट ड्यूरिंग दैट टाइम. तुम बिन वाज अ वेरी इंटेंस पीरियड फॉर अस. So we shared a room together, and it used to be long, tough days of intense acting, whatever. We used to help each other. We used to give, rehearse with each other. So I think that bond grew. And even when we came back to Bombay, and he's a very lovely man. He's a very lovely person. So I think because there was a there was a phase in between when I was not doing so much acting work, and then he kind of was very, he's very supportive of me and very supportive of my next venture, which was going to happen 5 years after Tum Bin, is that I started, being a screenwriter. I started making films. So I think he was very supportive at that point. And I think that means a lot.
Priyanshu bhi went through a lot of tough battles. मैंने सुना कि he had his battle with alcohol, which is known to all of us. उस वक्त आप थे उनके लिए?
I don't know if one can call it a battle, because yes, I mean, I know a lot of people who drink a lot, but I feel that he's done very well for himself here. He's worked hard and he has a good fan base. He has a lot of work coming all the time. So I never saw his alcohol as a problem. Obviously, देखो सिद्धार्थ, lot of people feel that people like me or Priyanshu, हम लोग बहुत बड़े स्टार नहीं बने तो मतलब क्या प्रॉब्लम होगी. बट दे हैव टू अंडरस्टैंड कि यार हम जहाँ से हमने शुरू करी थी, हमारी शुरुआत हमारी करियर की, हम उसके लिए भी बहुत बड़े बने हैं.
नहीं, बट भाई जब मोमेंटम बढ़ता है ना दोस्त, आई एम बीइंग वेरी ऑनेस्ट, फ्रेंड टू फ्रेंड, सडनली सुपर मॉडल हो गया बंदा, आफरीन में आ गया, तुम बिन फिल्म आई, एक्सपेक्टेशंस खुद का भी तो इतना बढ़ जाता है ना भाई. You also start seeing that, my God, that middle class boy is growing bigger and bigger in stature. तो खुद के expectations तो बढ़ते ही है ना.
हाँ.
अब उस वक्त ये थोड़ी कहते हो अच्छा पर मेरे लिए जो मिला वो ठीक है. आप देखते हो यार अब तो तुम बिन हो गया, अब नेक्स्ट ये होगा, अब नेक्स्ट ये होगा. वो तो अंदर से expectations होती है ना.
बात तो बिल्कुल सही है आपकी, बट यार at 26, 27, you're very happy with smaller things. And I'm not saying कि तब expectations नहीं थी. तब हमको नहीं लगा कि यार हमको भी यशराज की फिल्म में होना चाहिए, हमको भी उसकी बड़ी फिल्म में होना चाहिए. बट एक तो मेरे लिए जो मेरा डिफरेंस था वो ये था कि मुझको हीरो बनने का ऐसा एक वो क्या बोलते हैं, चस्का आया, पागलपन नहीं था मेरे लिए. मतलब लाइफ वाज अ सीरीज ऑफ एक्सपीरियंसेस, सो आई वाज नॉट मैड एंड इम्बैलेंस्ड अबाउट इट, सो आई थिंक प्रेशर इज देयर अ लॉट, एंड एट दैट एज टू हैव दैट प्रेशर, बिकॉज यू आर राइट, आफरीन, म्यूजिक वीडियोज, तुम बिन, ख्वाहिश, it's all happened, and people look at you as like that's it, now you're on your way up.
आसमान आपका है.
हाँ, मतलब you've done the hard work now, you'll go up, and everybody in the country knows you everywhere you go, and to have that pressure, it kind of affects you. Yeah, you feel कि अरे बॉस होना चाहिए कुछ. और अनफॉर्चुनेटली आप एक ऐसी इंडस्ट्री में हो, ऐसे बिजनेस में हो जहाँ पर द ऑड्स आर अगेंस्ट यू. यू आर नॉट फ्रॉम द इंडस्ट्री, यू डोंट नो हाउ इट ऑपरेट्स, यू डोंट हैव बैकर्स, यू डोंट हैव पीपल, यू डोंट अंडरस्टैंड, यू आर टू यंग टू अंडरस्टैंड इट. नाउ आई अंडरस्टैंड film financing, film distribution. Now I understand it because, I've kind of moved on. I make films now. At that time you don't. That time you feel, oh my God, this pressure is there. And people keep telling you, kya ho raha hai, what's happening? Everywhere you go, people say, what's happening next? What's coming next? And you're like, well, let's see, working on it. So in my case, I went towards doing more and more alternate cinema. I took that track. मेरे लिए डांसिंग एंड फाइटिंग एंड हॉर्स राइडिंग, जो मतलब उस जमाने में अर्ली 2000 में, इफ़ यू वांटेड टू बी ए हीरो, you had to do dancing classes, fighting classes, horse riding classes. So it was a very weird thing. But मेरे को था कि मुझको ये नहीं करना है. I want to do more sensible cinema. I come from a background where I understand a different world. That's why I did Khwahish. I did smaller films in the hope that they'll do well. And some did, some did not. But mainstream cinema, I couldn't crack it. And I was not attracted to it, to be really honest.
Coming back to Priyanshu, तो वो बैटल विद अल्कोहल नहीं था तो क्या था?
Yeah, I think battle with the business, with the industry that you're in. It's a simple battle. You know, I don't see, see, alcohol, if it becomes a problem at your workplace, if it becomes a problem in your personal space, then it's a problem. He's done very well. He does very good work in Bengali cinema. So I think it's fine.
एक फेस था वो कम्प्लीटली गायब थे, तो उस टाइम लोग कह रहे थे कि ये अल्कोहल की वजह से दैट ही वाज गायब, और आप थे उनके बगल में. Were you there?
Yeah. I know. I used to talk to him regularly about it. But he had the same thing to say. He said, man, I'm here. I'm working hard. I'm fit. I'm up at, I am not, indisciplined. I'm not out of control. People have to give me the work. But that was the problem, no, Siddharth. See, what also happens now, ki, I think actors का ना phase आता है. But it's like products. After a point, Maruti, let's say Maruti Suzuki, it is not the flavor of the season. Kia is, or something else is. So after 2007, 2008, we were not hot anymore. That's the problem with the business. If you're not constantly going up, you're going down. So, I mean, that is why I feel when I look at people like Shah Rukh and all, I mean, the kind of pressures they deal with, the kind of monies they have delivered on.
No, you have to hustle. Hustle is a word that people use, and I believe in it. Like, I've been around for 30 years, brother. From radio jockey to TV to voiceovers to doing digital. And I'm like a bull in my head. It's like a bull, होता है ना? Like a boxer होता है. Constantly होना पड़ता है. कुछ लोग थक जाते हैं उससे. कभी-कभार हम भी थक जाते हैं. We also face that phase, कह रहे यार. Then he said, oh, ठीक है, उठ जाओ. So it's about this, yeah. इतना पागलपंती वाला जुनून होना चाहिए to survive. Khwahish. I know you were not happy with that film. I know you were not happy with Mallika, and I don't want you to be diplomatic. भाई से बात कर रहे हो आप. What went wrong during that film? मुझे याद है, मैं लोगों को बताना चाहता हूँ, आपको याद होगा कि नहीं, कि I used to do the radio ads for Khwahish. आप आए थे मेरे स्टूडियो में वॉइस ओवर देने के लिए ऐड के लिए. मलिका भी आई थी. What went wrong, brother?
Khwahish जब शुरू हुई थी, it was a very sweet, beautiful film about a modern couple. And I had just come out of Tum Bin, and Mallika her name was Reema, her actual name. The problem I had was that, first of all, Mallika is not a very, very convenient person to work with.
क्यों?
As an actor, I don't know what she's like now, and I hope things, she's understood it. She was not generous as an actor to work with, and that becomes a big problem. When the actor in front of you does not want to give you cues, does not want to support you in a scene, wants to disrupt you, is not nice.
Disrupt you, money?
Means being competitive with you, as simple as that. It is not nice, and it's not very. It's very jarring to work with people like. At least at that time, like I said, I hope things. She's had a fabulous career, and I'm really happy for her, and I wish her well. But it was a difficult phase. It was a difficult film to do that way, because it was a very intimate film, and it had a lot of potential as a performance, because the whole film was in that one couple. So I feel that if we had gelled better, it would have been a far more crackling film.
आपने कहा कि ये फिल्म बहुत sweet film थी.
Yes.
But memories of people are only about those 17 smooches.
So that is the other thing that happened. So after the film was made, it was still the same film. But when it came to, for whatever reason, the producers, the distributors, they started marketing it as a very
sleazy film.
Sleazy film. It has got bed scenes, it's got salacious, it's got all this. Which, if it was that, it was fine with me. I wouldn't mind it. But it was not that. It was not that film. And I felt, bit cheated by the makers.
But गोविंद मेनन जो डायरेक्टर थे वो आपके पुराने दोस्त भी थे.
Yes.
उनसे बात नहीं की आपने इसके बारे में कि भाई ये स्वीट फिल्म थी और ये तुम लोग स्लीजी बना चुके हो. It's looking
Yes,
like
I have
X-rated film.
I have tremendous respect for Govind because he's he's not only a good filmmaker, he's also a great teacher. He taught me a lot about filmmaking. And I did try and speak to him about this at that point. But they had made up their mind. In fact, I think I didn't speak to him for 15 years after that. I never spoke to him.
आप उनसे खफा थे.
Yeah, we never spoke. It was sad because he was a friend to me before the film began. But it's okay, I wish they had stuck to the original voice of the film.
Which was?
Which was that it's a story, it's a modern tale of an urban marriage. And I had a lot of people who came to me after the film saying that, why did they set it like this kiss fest? There are not so many kisses.
In fact, मैंने सुना है कि आपने एक्चुअली काउंट किया और 17 स्मूचेस आपके और मलिका के बीच में नहीं थे.
नहीं, it is not. It was all media hype. Yeah, it was all distorted.
In fact, at that time, Karan Johar, Yashraj films वो तो किस दिखाते भी नहीं थे.
Yes.
In fact, if I'm not mistaken, it was that era जहाँ पे किस से पहले फूल आ जाता था, right? और यहाँ पे दिखाया गया कि यार बॉस यही है.
Yes.
Were you genuinely mentally disturbed by this? क्योंकि तुम बिन clean film. And suddenly वाह ये फिल्म जिसके बारे में लोगों को सिर्फ यही बातें आ रही थी, चुम्मा, चाटी, स्मूच. एंड मलिका भी उस टाइम पे बहुत आउटलैंडिश स्टेटमेंट्स बोलती थी.
Yes.
She used to really say a lot of things.
हाँ, मतलब all that was a problem for me because I didn't believe in that. I didn't believe कि you have to sell intimacy to sell your art. And I knew Mallika was doctoring it all. They would plan this, what she would say for attention. Now, if you ask Govind, he will say कि हाँ भाई, well, you need to do all this for marketing to get people interested in your content, in your product. For me as an artist, I think it was taking away from the genuineness of the film. And it impacted my career immensely.
कैसे impact किया?
Because, like you said, that time Karan Johar, Yashraj were doing films that were very clean. That was the mood of the nation. It's not about good, bad, right, wrong. That is how films were done. There was not so much skin show. So there were a lot of filmmakers who would not work with me after that. And then you start getting offers for those kind of films.
B grade, C grade.
हाँ, that they would come and tell you first कि सर इसमें 4 bed scene है, but ठीक है, I mean, I think it was a phase of filmmaking. It was a phase that happened. So for me, from Tum Bin to Khwahish, if Khwahish had been better positioned, in fact, if it had been better, pushed, it would have given a different, value to me. But see, Dik Siddharth, all these are hindsights, even today, if you ask a Govind or anybody else who with Khwahish, they feel that it was needed that time. That's what the audience lapped up. Until we were talking about the genuineness of the film and it's about a married couple and their battles, all that, nobody's interested. Moment Mallika started talking about the kisses, and at that, in the PR campaign, especially when I was a part of the whole thing, Siddharth, the whole hall used to be full of media. Full. Just wanted to know anything about it. How did you kiss?
ये पूछते थे कि कैसे किस.
हाँ, what was it like? Did you use tongue?
ये पूछते थे.
Every third interview used to ask this question. what kind of question is that? What do you say? He's like, no.
और आप कुछ कर नहीं पाते थे क्योंकि आपकी फिल्म मार्केटेड हुई थी उसी बेसिस पे.
Yes.
So it was them doing it,
Yes.
and obviously the questions were coming at you because it was positioned as that film जहाँ पे लोग बोलते थे अच्छा टंग के बारे में बात करो, इंटीमेसी के बारे में, बिस्तर के बारे में बात करो, ये देंगे जवाब because they're enjoying it.
Yes.
But probably you were not enjoying it.
I was not enjoying it because I'm a very private person that way, and I don't think one needs to. One should mix these two. So, but ठीक है, I mean, देखो, what happened. The film is still remembered well, and it's fine with me.
वो फिल्म हिट हुई थी?
It was actually a theatrical hit, but because of this image it had, it still did not go very deep, and it is not. It could have done better, but it was a theatrical hit at that time.
नहीं, मैं ये जानना चाहता हूँ कि when you say it didn't go deep, meaning it didn't touch people's hearts, is what you mean?
Yes, like Tum Bin did. It didn't reach out to a wide audience because people felt कि people were put. I mean, a vast audience. I mean, there were youngsters who were excited about it, but there were vast audience could also be put off by all this zabarasti ka, kissing, smooching, kind of,
I'm going to ask you a blatant question. तो जो लड़का
no tongue. I'm just telling you. There was no tongue.
I wasn't going to ask that, but ठीक है, दे दिया आपने.
But I have to tell you the funniest thing that happened during the promotions of Khwahish. So during the promotion of Khwahish, and I had just got engaged at that point to my current wife. I think so. Govind was very smart on that. I think Govind called her on the set in one of those things, and anybody who's done a scene like this, intimacy scene on a film, I can tell you, there's nothing intimate about it. It's purely technical. There is no joy in it. So I think she understood कि ये तो ऐसे ही है, तो मतलब it's all very technical ना, light है, ये है, वो है, so it's a little awkward, and you kind of, you and the girl are like nod and say, you okay, nice.
But off screen आपके और मल्लिका के बीच में कोई केमिस्ट्री थी नहीं. You couldn't handle her, she couldn't handle you. फिर आप kisses जब करते थे तो awkward ज़्यादा ही होता होगा as compared to normal kiss scenes ना?
No, I think every kiss scene is awkward for all actors, generally speaking. I think, but during the shooting, we managed. I think within Mallika and I, we knew it's kissing, intimacy is like doing stunt work. It's very technical. You have to do it correctly. You have to do it in the right position. So it's a very technical aspect. There's nothing, and at the same time, you have to have an emotional aspect to it also. So it's an acting exercise. It's an acting gig.
तो तुम बिन क्लीन फिल्म, उसके बाद perceived in a different way after Khwahish, courtesy the crazy marketing gimmicks that were happening.
Yes.
लोग आते थे बोलते थे ये लो 4 बिस्तर वाली scenes है, 5 है, ये सब. Suddenly perception changed.
Yes.
2013 में a crazy thing happened with you. Supposedly आपकी naked photos were splashed all across several mainstream and porn websites. And आपने कहा they're all mine, I don't deny them at all. क्या हुआ था भाई?
So those photos were actually clicked in 1998. And you see, that was an era of modeling and where your vanity is at such a level that nudity is not a problem. Nudity was very normal that time. It was a time where all over the world a lot of models were doing nude shoots. A lot of actors were doing nude shoots. It was just a fad. So if you were up there and if you had the body, all of us did nude shoots. Milind, me,
Arjun.
females, a lot of female models have done a lot of nude shoots. So we all did it, and it was very artistically done. It was very nicely done. So I think I must have left those pictures in somebody's office, or must have lost them. Must have lost a print of them, which I think then turned around and came out on the net. By around 2010-11, the internet was getting more and more active. And yeah, they came out on the internet, and they were artistic pictures, so I was not so perturbed by it. There was nothing ugly about it, you know. So my daughter was there, and I think I had to explain to her a bit. The rest, it was not a problem.
आपने ये कहा था, I shot these pictures with a well-known photographer when I was 21. When I came to Mumbai from Delhi, things weren't easy for me. I was propositioned and treated like a sex object everywhere. तो ये मॉडलिंग में भी आपको एज अ सेक्स ऑब्जेक्ट ट्रीट किया जाता था, फिल्मों में भी, या हर जगह ऐसा होता था?
See, ये बिजनेस का नेचर है टू ट्रीट यू. आई मीन, यू आर एसेंशियली selling sexual energy, you know. So you are, constantly propositioned. Like any hot woman will tell you, you know, they are, 4 times a day they must be having some guy hitting on them. So it was the same for, at that age, that time, to constantly have somebody try and make a move on you, somebody try and tell you, let's go for a drink, come over in the evening, whatever. Some from within the business, some from outside the business. It was a constant, it's the world we were in. And there was nothing, until you don't make it sleazy, it doesn't become sleazy. Until you don't, do the wrong things, it doesn't become wrong. Until then, it's fine. It's just a, healthy, flirtatious phase. But if you kind of start using your own sexuality for your own purpose and to get something else out of it, it becomes complicated. But I think, yes, it was there. It was, and still there in the business all the time. Okay, now after Me Too and after all that, it's a lot more safer for younger actors. But at that time, there was very less. There was not much kind of awareness about these things.
आपने ये तक कहा है, the pictures are part of my wild past when I did many unthinkable things. ये unthinkable things क्या है?
I don't think so. I don't know about that. I can't think about them anymore.
और क्या था? No one's saying आप अभी करते हो. I'm sure you're over that phase.
Yeah.
But क्या था वो unthinkable things?
I don't know. I mean, it's
the rave parties जो हुआ करती थी.
Yeah, I think we've all had our flirtations with drugs at a certain age. Wild partying, all night partying, too much drinking, too many things in excess. So I would say, I think it was youth. So there was not, I can't say more than that, because I don't remember beyond that. Even I have forgotten these unthinkable things. It's so long ago.
Were you addicted to drugs, or you were just doing drugs because हो रहा था इर्द-गिर्द fashion Bollywood में उस वक्त?
I was never addicted to drugs. It was a part of the culture, and it is a part of very popular culture, actually speaking.
अभी भी आपको लगता है it is?
I think it is. It's not right, it's not good, all those things are there. But I think there is a vast section of young people who do, indulge in this stuff. So it's okay.
Was it difficult for you to stop consuming drugs?
No, I was never addicted. I was never controlled by them. It was just a phase, I think. Like I said, when you are in your early 20s and so much, you get that kind of fame and success, then everything goes. Then you're flying with everything. So I think that's what I meant by it. But I don't think I had a drug problem or anything like that.
इनफैक्ट आपने इंटरव्यू में कहीं कहा था कि ड्यूरिंग योर अर्ली डेज इन द फिल्म इंडस्ट्री आपको प्रोपोजिशन दिया गया था टू स्टे इन द न्यूज और आपको बोला गया था ये हरकतें करो न्यूज में रहने के लिए. वो कौन सी हरकतें आपको बोला गया था कि कर ले बाबा तू निकल गया?
हाँ, मतलब आई थिंक इवन नाउ देयर आर दिस, अब तो बहुत ज़्यादा है पहले टाइम से, देयर आर दिस मीडिया स्पिनर्स who have these ideas how to make you famous, and moment they see a possible candidate, and I was a possible candidate, we were all that these small pool of actors who were on our way up. So there were ideas all the time that do this, you'll get famous, do that, you'll get famous.
Do what?
Well, have an affair with an actress, or do an expose with somebody, or
एक्सपोज माने आप कुछ कर रहे हैं एक्ट्रेस के साथ और एक कैमरा आ गया और फिर वो लीक दिखा दिया.
हाँ, वो लीक दिखा दिया. Designed to drive attention to you, and that is also where my path changed, because I was very clear that I won't mix my work and my personal life. For me, what I was doing was my art and my work, but I would not cross that boundary. I mean, as simple as that, I believe that if you want to be with someone, with a person of the opposite sex, it should be because you want to be with them, not because it is correct for you to be with them for other reasons. So I would not mix the two. And I think that's when I was just like, I have my boundaries and that's it. I'm not doing anything else.
उस टाइम पे स्पेशली हमें सुनने को आता था कि यार बिजनेसमैन की वाइव्स हैंडसम सुपर मॉडल्स को बोलते थे मेरा पति अभी है नहीं, या they used to book hotel rooms and tell supermodels I'm going to pay you this kind of money, come spend a night with me. ऐसे propositions तो आए होंगे आपके पास?
Not that clearly, but like I said, you are selling sex. You're selling a certain sexual energy when you're in the business. People go and see young, great-looking women because it gives that sexual energy. Same men, same thing. But like I said, not that clearly, but I was very clear from the kind of value system I came that I'm not going to mix the two. And that is why I don't drink, I don't smoke. I kind of stay clean, because at that time to lose yourself is very easy.
डेलुलू सोलुलू बच्चे की जान लोगे क्या? हाई ऑन चाय, चाय प्रेमी विचित्र प्राणी, बुलाती है मगर जाने का नहीं. Yes, Angar's latest collection of t-shirts, hoodies, jumpsuits are out. Trendy, cool, new designs with slogans that you and I see in our daily lives at affordable prices. Also, if you're an Angar customer, if you have the Angar merchandise with you, click pics with them and post it on your Instagram and tag me at @Sid_Kannan, and I would love to repost them. Angar pehno or Angar machao. Tell me if I'm wrong, okay? कि pageants हुआ करते थे मेल मॉडल्स के, where some business lady would organize those pageants and the winner or the winners would be the ones who'd be her toy boy. ये हमको सुनने को आता है. Listen, I'm very curious. I'm asking you things that I used to hear in those days. कि अगर ये तीनों विनर बने या ये विनर बना, वो लेडी का टॉय बॉय बन गया है. ऐसे होता था? Look, we're not taking names, brother. हम लोग नाम तो कुछ ले ही नहीं रहे.
देखो, इसमें it's a bigger myth than truth. I can tell you that. It is not that exciting a life. ठीक है? And I've also heard the same stories that you heard, but I don't think they are true. There's it's a little fun and games, a little flirtation, but to be somebody's toy boy, gigolo, I don't think it really happened because it's nothing. It's a little fun and games.
What games like?
It's a bit like haha, he's no more than that. So I don't see that happen. The bigger problem was most young actors, male actors, male models had a big gay following, and the gay movement was just picking up. So, and that was the little complicated.
Kaise?
Well, you had a lot of gay people wanting to get close to you and be a part of your society, part of your, and you want to be kind to them, but you're not gay, so you can't be with them. At the same time, you don't want to be, dismissive of them, because they're also, it's a complicated world for them. So it used to get very awkward. Lots of relationships, lots of friendships went bad because of that. So I think, but I think all young men would probably in the business face that.
And you're right. वो उस time था जब लोग बाहर आ रहे थे. These conversations just coming out, but no one was sure. Can we talk about it openly or not? It was somewhere lost in the middle. That that little bit of nervousness. Should I talk? What will that person think? Now it's become open conversations. Yes. Have you ever slept with a boy?
No.
Never. Because in the modeling fraternity, we used to hear that a lot of that would happen.
I had too much attitude to do anything else that I was what I would want to do. I had too much attitude, which also was my biggest problems. So I couldn't get a damn about so many of these things.
Attitude माने आप arrogant थे.
I think so. People say that. I don't think so, but people say that. But I was very clear of what I would do, what I would not do. You couldn't convince me for anything that I didn't want to do.
क्या आपको कभी कोई मूवी से निकाला गया है because of a star kid? आपने मुझसे कहा था इस conversation कि भाई, I was thrown out of films. I was getting it. I was thrown out. I was getting it thrown out. It happened multiple times.
I think it happened a few times.
कोई बड़ी फिल्म भी थी?
I think so. I won't name them.
नहीं. I'm not going to ask you. I promise you. In this entire conversation, मैं कभी आपसे नाम नहीं पूछने वाला. तो वो फिल्म बाद में बड़ी हिट हुई?
Yes, a couple of them. You see, in the late 2005 to 2012-13, there were a lot of these multi-starrer films that were being made. 3-4 stars. And there have been times where a bigger star would not be comfortable to work with a younger star like me. And that's when I realized how petty people can be, which is fine. I'm not judging them. They're just, you're taller than them, you're broader than them, and kind of that becomes an issue for them. And then they would not be comfortable, And they're the bigger star, so you would be let go of.
Of course, because आप लोग Greek gods की तरह थे, especially the models of that time. आप, Arjun Rampal, Milan Soman, Dino Maria, ये सब आप लोग सब Greek gods थे. In fact, some of the Bollywood A-listers at that time would definitely, and I say this on camera, would have got threatened by y'all, saying that यार ये आ गए तो हमको कौन देखेगा, and they would have definitely felt insecure.
Yes. So that was a big stumbling block.
कभी कोई A-list actress ने आप पे move किया है? Must have happened. Maybe at a party, at a shoot, somewhere.
No, not that I can think of.
इतना बड़ा pause था यार. Again, नाम नहीं पूछ रहा, पर हुआ होगा ना. Listen, that was the wild era of models, actors.
But ये जो wildness है ना, it's more a myth than truth. So
अरे नहीं भाई, क्या बोल रहा है? फॉर एग्जाम्पल मैं लो परेल में कुछ नाइट क्लब्स हुआ करती थी. and they were open till 4, 5 o'clock. I have been a part where I've seen from a distance. I mean, we were radio jockeys, proud to be radio jockeys, but we were not the glamorous boys, right? The models were the glamorous boys. The actors we were the radio jockeys, जिनकी आवाज लोग पसंद करते थे. And I've seen actors make out in the dark while the DJ is playing music. Suddenly they've said hi, hello, कोई एक कोने में, कोई एक कोने में, और बाद में 3 बजे रात को suddenly कोई मुंह कर रहा है कोने में. Suddenly they mixed, and we used to just watch and say, okay, oh, okay, कहाँ देखे? तो वो होता था because there were no cameras in those times. So it was easy to flirt more openly. It was easy to do certain things which you can't do now because of fear of cameras, fans uploading it somewhere. I'm sure maybe an actress or someone must have said that, listen, hey, you know what? Huh?
But I think I blame my mother and my sister.
Oh,
they got me married really early. I'm kind of a clean kid. I stayed, I'm very the thing is na Siddharth, when you're faced with a choice, either you run towards it or you run away from it. So I was the type who would run away from all this kind of, this excitement.
आपकी arranged marriage हुई थी क्या?
No, love marriage. But I didn't have, it was not, I think I lived my wild times before all that. So I realized very early on कि.
Tell me very honestly, भाई, तो ख्वाहिश आया, things went wrong, जो फिल्में आप चाहते थे वो नहीं मिल रही थी, परसेप्शन चेंज हो गया था, बोल्ड फिल्म्स आपके पास आने लगी, एंड ऑब्वियसली जितनी फिल्म्स आपको आनी चाहिए थी वो गलत आ रही थी, एंड यू स्टार्टेड सेइंग नो. एम आई राइट? व्हाई डिड यू डिसअपियर?
I think I was bored. I had been working since the age of 21. And under that pressure, under that whole thing of, constantly upping the ante, whether it is music videos, films, it was a very intense, tough period of, I got bored of this whole thing. And like I said, unfortunately, I did not have the drive in me कि मेरे को हीरो बनना है. वो मुझ में जुनून था ही नहीं. बहुत लोगों में होता है ना. I feel very amazed कि यार good. In fact, I remember Mallika telling me this. One of the few good things she's done for me. She was like, why are you here if you don't have the junoon? And I thought that's a very fair point. And then Mahesh Bhatt said the same thing to me. Because I was very clear कि I'll do what I like to do, otherwise it's okay. So at that point, people like Mahesh Bhatt used to tell me that, you're too educated to be here. Either you go and de-educate yourself, which is very difficult, or you be somewhere else. He said, if you want to de-educate yourself, I'm more than happy to help you, be a part of your journey, come do more films with me. But I was very clear कि मेरे को ये हीरोगिरी वाला जुनून है ही नहीं मुझ में. I wanted to pursue something more stronger and bigger, which is, stronger films, deeper films, more exciting cinema, instead of just naach gana. I was on that planet, which also is very stupid. There's nothing very great about it.
Stupid क्यों?
Well, it's stupid because here you have, if I had done the right things at that time, I had the possibility of being a much bigger star. But I even kicked those possibilities. You understand what I'm saying? I didn't want to work with the Karan Johars and the Yash Rajes of the world.
क्यों?
Because I thought they made hokey films. This full thoda chamak chalo, I was like, it was boring for me. Like I said, I didn't have the junoon. Also, you have to think of my background. I never grew up on Hindi films. My father was in the Air Force. We were in small towns. There was no cinemas there. We used to watch 1 or 2 films a year. वो भी अमिताभ बच्चन. My dad was an अमिताभ बच्चन fan. तो वो था ही नहीं.
पर भाई जब आप मॉडलिंग में आ गए थे, आपने देखा the ritz, the glamour, the spotlight. I mean, models आपके टाइम पे वो worshipped. आज तो नाम भी नहीं याद रहते, unfortunately. तो आपने तो चख लिया था. You understood कि यार ये मैंने कहाँ से कहाँ मुझे पहुँचा सकता है. And you had a graph, modeling से लेकर फिल्मों तक.
See, I understand. I went along for the ride. I kept growing, I kept working hard, I kept developing it. But then I think when I turned around I think 2007 or 8, I felt ki, if you don't really want to do something, it will not come to you. And the industry quickly understands कि हमारे जैसा नहीं है ये. He's different.
बीच में अपने बहुत सारी फिल्में बीच में की थी.
Yes.
रक्त, रोग, रेन, कोई आपसा, सजनी, मलिका, यमला पगला दीवाना, QED, 7 hours to go, 3 stories. फिर ये क्यों किया आपने ये सारी फिल्में?
Then this was just to keep the kitchen fires burning.
पैसे के लिए.
Basically, yeah. But like I said, these films came after I'd already made my choices early. See, when you come out of films like Tum Bin and Khwahish, if I was sensible, if I had a different approach to my career, I could have been in the big league right now. And I think that's true for a lot of young actors who had a chance at it. Like you said, people like Priyanshu, me, we had a chance at the big league. But we didn't take it. Either you didn't get it or you didn't take it.
जैसे आपने कहा कि आपका एक विजन था कि मैं सेंसिबल सिनेमा करूं.
Yeah.
मैं वो सिनेमा करूं जो नाच गाना वो ना हो. तो ये फिल्में फिर क्यों की? मैंने प्योर मनी रीज़न था या फिर वो था जो कह रहा है यार मनी भी है पर मुझे कोशिश करते रहना है फिल्मों में.
Yes. So a lot of them are very good characters I did. And
सॉरी मैंने देखी नहीं है ये.
no. But this was more like just being in the, just constantly working. That was it. But see, that is when I started writing and making films. So QED is a film that I made because I felt ki the kind of cinema that I engage with and I enjoy, I'm not able to be either a part of or I don't, there is a very different world that I see. So I naturally drifted towards making of films. And I had finished that phase, Siddharth, of being in front of the camera for that time. I'd done it. I remember meeting Vishal Bhardwaj. And the moment he met me, he was like, your face is so familiar. I've never met you before. But I've seen you so much that you represent something for the people now. So it gets more and more difficult for people like me to cast you. So I was like, but that should help you. He said, no, but you have become a symbol of a certain time. And for me to see you as a character is difficult. That's why people like Anurag Kashyap, Vishal Bhardwaj, they wouldn't cast a person like me. Because you're just so strong from the kind of work we have done, Like you said, they were all like Afreen Afreen or Tum Bin. They were all, in a own way, they were path breaking. They were first movers. So I think that's when I realized that my journey as an actor is kind of done. And also in this business, unless you hit that slot of leading man, it's very difficult to keep moving.
आप डिप्रेशन में गए थे कभी?
Never.
कभी नहीं. जब ये था, जब आपको पता चल गया मैं एक्टर नहीं बनने वाला हूँ, जो मुकाम तक मुझे पहुँचना था वो नहीं हो रहा है, आपको फीडबैक मिल गया था, आपको समझ आ गया था, आप कैरेक्टर रोल्स करने लगे, मोस्टली वो कैरेक्टर्स जो ठीक ठाक थे बट इम्पैक्ट नहीं छोड़ा.
Yes.
How did you deal with that?
I was not so perturbed. I was more perturbed of my journey as a filmmaker by that time. Even now when I get calls for some films, I tell them, yeah, sure, if you want me to do it, but I will not do an audition, I will not do a screen test, and I will not come here. Because like I said, it is not I do it for the joy of it, not for the need of it. My need is to make films now.
फिर आपने एक फिल्म बनाई थी चित्रकूट,
That's right.
वो आपकी सेकंड फिल्म थी QED के
QED was a short film.
बाद। जी,
Chitrakoot is a full-fledged feature film. It came in the theaters in May of 2022. It came on, it's on Jio Cinema and MX Player and a lot of platforms. So I made a very independent film without any stars or any major producer or a studio backing me. Because I thought that is how a good film should be made.
मेरा एक क्वेश्चन है, एक फिट बंदा जो इतना फिट था एट वन टाइम, ये लुक चेंज कैसे हो गया फिर?
Yeah, it was not the need of the hour for me to be permanently fit. You know, मतलब कि देखो, you have to understand, Siddharth, 15 years, 16 years maybe, I was super fit, six-pack abs all the time. And then you get bored of it. You're like, I don't want to be this. I want to be somebody else.
और बहुत प्रेशर भी होता होगा ना उसको मेंटेन
Yeah,
करना यार।
it's too much hard work.
Too much of mental exhaustion
Yeah,
as
it's
well.
exhaustion. In fact, people tell me तुम अभी पतले हो जाओ. I was like, एक क्यों? B, it's so much hard work. You're talking, dieting, fighting, and you know, it becomes your reason for the day, which I find it to be a little petty, you know. And you know, vanity was never my strong point. I don't care about this. You know, it's very difficult for people to understand it, but it's nice to be well, you know, to be well liked and you know, to look good, but it is not my necessity. So मतलब मेरे को I don't give a shit about all this. ठीक है, I enjoy myself, I enjoy my body.
आप जिम जाते हो,
Yeah,
you go
yeah.
for walks, you do all that.
Yeah, I do what I can, but I'm focused on other aspects of my life. Na? So, and I feel really like to look the same for the rest of your life. It's madness, you know. And I talk to people a lot about this now. I mean, I get people every week on the road saying, "Arey sir, आप different हो गए हो, बाल उगा लो आप," you know, something like that. But I don't see the point. I feel comfortable the way I am and I'm happy. It doesn't matter to me.
अगर डीनो हो, अर्जुन हो, आप लोग सब एक कमरे में होते, were you people who'd say, अरे यार, we had great memories together, or would you just say hi, hello to each other?
I think we would talk about our great memories.
आप लोग की मेमोरीज अच्छे थे, डीनो, अर्जुन, आपके एक दूसरे के साथ?
No, I think they were all very different personalities. Like Milind is a very warm person, you know. Arjun is always a bit aloof. He's a good guy. He would never do any bad to you. But he's
अलग
aloof.
थे,
He's aloof.
दूर रहते थे।
Yeah, we were all cool in our own way, man. We were like, bro, what's up? You know, we didn't need to be friends. We were just cool, you know. And but we knew we had all seen that era, you know, and we have seen the adulation, which is quite fantastic.
तो आप अर्जुन, डीनो दोस्त नहीं थे, but you had respect for each other?
Yeah, absolutely.
डीनो कैसा था?
Dino actually was junior. He came 2 years after us. So I came in the same year as. So when you say came in the same year, is the year when you break into the fashion show circuit. Every autumn, fall, there is a series of fashion shows, which every designers used to do. So the year you break into those top fashion shows is when you have debuted in the business. So I came with Arjun, me and Arjun. 1 year before us was Rahul Dev, and 1 year before him was Milind Soman and Mark Robinson. Milind was a huge star when we entered the business. He was actually a Greek god. हम लोग कुछ भी नहीं सोच सकते. He's damn good. And he was a great guy. He was very warm. He was a true party animal. He's the kind of guy who would finish a rehearsal and say, tell the boys, let's go. Get into a car. On the way, stop, buy 3 bottles of champagne. And we don't know where we will end in that night. Go somewhere, some farmhouse, something, इससे मिलो, man, get drunk, ये वो, some girl, this, that. It was non-stop. So it was a wild time.
सुपर लेडी मॉडल्स कौन थी?
There was Madhu Sapre. There was Meher Jesia.
तब अर्जुन और मेहर मैरिड थे कि नहीं थे?
No, they got married a bit later. Madhu Sapre, Meher Jesia, can't believe forgetting names now.
Would you call Anupama Verma also?
Sheetal Malhar. Anupama was not so big on the fashion show circuit, but she was a known model. Sheetal Malhar, Noinika Chatterjee. Aishwarya Rai came in front of us. Sushmita Sen came in front of us.
Came in front money?
Means, I think my first show was also Aishwarya's first show. And she had just broken into the whole, created a flutter in the whole nation with that one Pepsi ad she did with Amir Khan. And then I saw her 2 days later on a flight from Bombay to Chennai. And she was just something else.
Gorgeous.
She was gorgeous. And you saw her and knew, oh my God, she's going to be a huge star. You knew it then. She just was very special.
Was she warm as a person?
She was a lovely person. Lovely person. Very warm. It's it was just a very warm atmosphere at that time. We were all friends. We were not competitors, or we were not. We were just friends on a constant, like you can say. We would travel from Bombay to Chennai, Chennai to Hyderabad, Hyderabad to Calcutta. We were just like a traveling troupe, ha ha hee hee, having fun. All the boys competing on. तू कितना बेंच प्रेस करता मैं कितना बेंच प्रेस करता हूँ मैंने 10 अंडे खाए मैंने 15 अंडे खाए वी वर इन दैट जोन
सुष्मिता कैसी थी?
Sushmita actually when she initially came nobody really gave her we didn't have we didn't know she'd be so big. We knew ठीक है she was one of the models who was actually 2 years or 3 years junior to me. And then she broke the whole internet with her Miss Universe. So I don't remember working so much with her. But with Aishwarya, I did a lot of work. It was a good time.
Are you in touch with Aishwarya abhi?
No. But I'm sure if I see them, I'll say hello, recognize each other, and say, what's up?
वो टाइम पे कास्टिंग काउच बहुत हुआ करता था. आपको कभी डायरेक्टर प्रोड्यूसर ने प्रोपोजिशन किया कास्टिंग काउच के लिए?
वो टाइम की अभी भी वही है.
अब शायद इतना सुनने को नहीं मिलता है भाई. लाइक अगेन टोल्ड यू वो इसलिए क्योंकि सबको मालूम है कि कैमरा मार देगा. इनफैक्ट बहुत से डायरेक्टर्स डर के अपने ऑफिस में कैमरास लगा चुके प्रोड्यूसर्स लगा चुके बिकॉज़ दे शॉट इन देयर पैंट्स या. बट दोस डेज पीपल ओपन अबाउट ऑल दीज थिंग्स. डर नहीं था लोगों का. आपको प्रोपोजिशन किया गया?
Not directly, but I think indirectly तो we all knew it's there.
See, it's male directors and male producers.
Yes. And so but the thing is once they know that you have your boundaries, you will not cross the line. They were also very respectful about such things. They would also not, what's the point? So I think a lot of people ask me about this whole thing of, compromise and everything. But I believe that it is what you are. If you are if you're an uncompromising person, you'll never have to compromise. But if you are, kind of skitty and you're okay with mixing the two, I'm not judging. I'm not saying it's right or wrong. I know people who have slept with other people for other than love and intimacy, which is fine. I'm not judging them. But it's about you, if you can mix the two. Like I personally have few close friends who are very clear that they don't mind and it's fine with them. That's how they are made. And I think that's what, so I have a lot of people who ask me, oh, do people in your business, we heard stories about this and that and sleeping around and orgies and compromise. Is it true? I say they're all true and they're all false. It just depends the person you are.
You've heard of Bollywood orgy parties? Heard. मैं ये नहीं कह रहा हूँ कि आप है उसके साथ.
No.
You heard about it in those days?
No. Abhi, I don't think we were that advanced. We were not Hollywood yet.
To run the house, क्या source of revenue है? मैंने आप businesses करते हैं,
Yes.
वो है, क्या है?
Yeah, there was, God has been kind and there's always been enough to build on. And, that way I think my early success was enough to kind of, secure me for a long time. So, had never been a problem on that front. It's just the question of what to do with your career ahead, which is where the complication of what film to make, what kind of story, what kind of budget, what kind of people to work with, and that's the battles in life now.
आपने हाल ही में उलझ किया था जानवी कपूर के
Yes.
साथ. Was that a role जिसने आपको satisfy किया अंदर से?
I think they cut a bit of my role.
Bit की बहुत ज़्यादा.
Couple of scenes, 3 scenes, I don't know. So, which is fine. I think it's a part of the filmmaking process. I wish it was a better role, but the filmmaker is a friend of mine, and actually he reached out and said, "Hey, do this for us," types. It was good fun, and I in fact enjoy these roles a lot now. It's good to be out there.
नहीं, but जब आप गए थे प्रीमियर पर, उस वक्त आपने पहली बार अपने आप को देखा था स्क्रीन पर इन दिस फिल्म, और उस वक्त आपको रियलाइज हुआ कि उलझ में मेरे जो सीन्स होने चाहिए थे वो कटे हुए हैं. That was the first time you realized that,
Yes,
right?
yes.
उससे पहले तो थोड़ी किसी ने बोला होगा कि अच्छा प्रीमियर के लिए आओ, 3 सीन्स कटे हुए. तो जब आप बैठे थे प्रीमियर में, अपने आप को आपने देखने की कोशिश की, और 3 सीन्स आउट कट चुके without informing you, how was that?
It's okay. I'm beyond that now.
Come on, Himanshu, human beings है. I take the liberty क्योंकि आप मेरे भाई जैसे हो. If I would work hard for something, I would go for the premiere. मैं excited हूँ यार, सिद्धार्थ तो दिखने वाला है, and suddenly most of my scenes are out. I don't think I would have told myself, चल ठीक है. But if that's the mindset you've developed, hats off, brother.
No, because I don't know. I was. It's happened so often
आप immune हो चुके हो.
that you know this is the process of filmmaking, and also I think a lot happens once you become a director, which I have become now. You realize that some things are let go of. So मतलब ठीक है. मतलब earlier I used to get very perturbed when I would not get cast for something that I thought I was perfect for. But once I became a director, I realized that casting is such a complex process. Ki, there would be many reasons to be cast and many reasons for you not to be cast.
Models were called wooden, especially उस टाइम पे यार मॉडलिंग करता है तो उसको एक्टिंग नहीं आती है, and some models were not the best of actors. क्या आपको wooden बुलाया गया था?
I think so.
Were you a good actor or a decent actor or a bad actor?
I think I was a decent actor, but the prejudice is prejudice against models is immense, and I think every model would kind of agree with me on that front. The whole idea that models only look good. Truth is, they look good, so yes, they cannot probably suit every character because they're very distinct looking. But whenever a performance is criticized, actually it is the criticism of the filmmaker and the storytelling, not of the actor, truly speaking. So I think it's, it's an average film made by an average filmmaker and average storytelling, then no matter who it is, you look wooden, you look bad.
जानवी के साथ आपका इंटरेक्शन हुआ था इस फिल्म में?
नहीं, I don't think so.
What do you think of her?
I think she's a great talent, upcoming talent. She's hardworking and she's out there. She's pulling it. You can see when an artist is putting themselves out there, which is all that people want.
Movies, direction, lot of it happening now, bhai?
Yes. I'm actually, this year I'm probably going to start 2 films.
As a director?
As a director and producer. I produce my own content also. I'm always one of the producers in the films that I do. I think it's a great time in Indian cinema. Lots of great stories being told, different stories told differently. OTT has opened up the whole game so much. I think it's an exciting time. So, I'm very happy that I'm, in this phase of my life now, where I've done the acting, I've done the modeling, I've done the ups and the downs, and now I'm doing something new. Like, what more can I ask for?
थैंक यू सो मच हिमांशु मलिक कि आप आए. मुझे अभी भी याद है जब आप रेडियो स्टूडियो में आए थे, जब मैं रेडियो एड्स बना रहा था माही में फॉर ख्वाहिश. एंड फॉर अस यू वर दिस बिग सुपर मॉडल. वी यूज्ड टू लुक एट वाओ यार, बहुत लड़कियां इसकी दीवानी होती होंगी. एंड आई एम सो ग्लैड यू केम हियर एंड शेयर योर एंटायर जर्नी. विश यू योर फैमिली द वेरी बेस्ट, एंड योर सेकंड इनिंग्स एज अ डायरेक्टर, आई होप इट बिकम्स a bigger blockbuster.
Yes.
The best blockbuster in your life. And thank you so much, मेरे भाई.
Thank you so much,
Himanshu
Siddharth.
Malik.